Yes, happy Monday. Monday. Can't touch that day. Can't trust that day. I think is how it goes. Yeah, right. Maybe I'd have to pay royalties to use that song from the Mamas and the Papas. Do you know who the Mamas and the Papas are? You're revealing your age if you do. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to the show. As always, I'm your host, David Burrows, and glad to be here as two special guests joining us here today. So hope you'll stay with us. This morning I'm going to talk about it coming up in a few minutes. So get your thinking caps on about your thoughts on the new mandatory mask bylaw here in Sarnia. But first, let's talk about the Western Ontario Outlaws. This past yesterday, if you're watching this live here on Monday, wow, what an exciting day. It was hot, no kidding. But we were into the media tent, so it wasn't too bad for us. I felt bad for my son, Jason, because he was out with the camera. But some great races out there at the Western Ontario Outlaws, or WOO, Extreme Lawn Tractor Racing. It's in Petrolia every other Sunday, so we'll be back there Sunday, August the 9th. And it's only $10 per vehicle to come in and watch the races, right? Social distancing practices in place, of course. And had about 25 cars out there. They do have their limits of 100 people, right? So the first 100, and it's just a lot of fun. Very family friendly. Myself and Jason, along with Colin and Gary Vannon, who will be getting together in August for a fundraiser race. It'll support Ohana Landing. We'll be talking about that. A father versus son races, plural, right? So that'd be a lot of fun. And if you can't get out there and watch it, I am there live streaming it. You can go to my YouTube channel. That's also on the Facebook page, the Video Show Network, and on our Twitter as well. So watch there. And I've learned a lot about racing. Lawn tractors. Yeah, that's a thing. I know. So again, next race coming up Sunday, August the 9th. Hope you'll join us for that. Before I get into the next, let me get myself organized here. I'm always self-producing, right? I don't know if you know. So I'm like pushing all the buttons here and everything and getting things ready for our guests. And sometimes I have a hard time multitasking. Let's go to the comments. Please say hello wherever you're watching. I don't see my friend Jesse saying hello yet. Hope he's okay. Or Corinder. Or Barry. Or anybody else. Wherever you are, wherever you're watching from, please say hello in the comments. We want to acknowledge you and let you say hello to us and share your thoughts as well, which we'll talk about the mandatory mask commitment. I wanted to say thank you to my friend Jules C. She made this. I don't think I mentioned this. I wanted to make sure I did, and I finally got it. We did the Friday Night Music Fever together, and this was her voodoo rock that she made for me. This was like she would flick. Anyway, when I would get out of line, I guess. So from Jules, my COVID-19 rock, I wanted to say thank you to her. Is there a resemblance there? The tie? I don't know. This dude's got shades on. You see the glasses? I got to go get me some spy glasses or something. Anyway, it sits there with my Corvette, my 57 Corvette. So thanks, Jules. It's been a great weekend with lots going on. I think most people are social distancing, right? And boy, there's just a lot going on with this social distancing and wearing the masks. Do you wear a mask? Don't you wear a mask? What are the statistics? You can go to lambtonpublichealth.ca to get the information. If you've got questions, right, about what's happening. Now, what is happening? Let's talk about this. Earlier today, Sarnia City Council passed a bylaw making it mandatory to wear masks listen to this carefully, wearing masks in indoor public spaces. So when you go to the grocery store, the retail store, the restaurant, so indoor public spaces. Now, there's a lot of debate on whether the city should be allowed to do this, whether they should do this. The medical officer said this. The province isn't making it mandatory. There's a whole lot going on. There's actually a poll on my Facebook group. If you go to my Facebook group, the Show with David Burrows group, there's a poll there right now, and it's pretty close to 50-50. There's a lot of conversation going on in the Facebook group right now, and there's some good arguments on both sides. Some people don't like being told what to do. I get it. I never liked wearing my seatbelt either, but I wear it. It is the safer thing to do. Is it annoying and a pain? Sure. That doesn't mean it isn't the right thing you should be doing, right? Carl Freeman's out there saying good afternoon. Hello, Carl. And John Upton joining us here all the way from the United Kingdom as well. We've got folks watching from all over. United Kingdom, Australia. We're broadcast in the United States and all these places that I'm mentioning as well. So the whole world is watching us here today. So City Council made this decision. Let's go back to this here now. At the end of the day, social distancing is still a must. Just because we're moving into stage 3 and we're moving the economy forward, I guess, doesn't mean that this thing is over. By far from over. So we have to be diligent and we need to do some things. Life is different. That's the way it is, folks. That's the way it is. I remember I tell my kids sometimes, they don't like it when I tell them, but I say, listen, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And that's just the way it is. And you can get up every morning with your lawn chair and face west. Chances are that sun's not rising that direction. So there are just some things, you just have to accept some things, right? And I'm not a fan of wearing the mask. Hear me out, okay? I will wear a mask. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not going to enjoy it. But I get that it's probably the right thing to do. And if it's not the right thing to do, what's not the right thing to do? If I don't have to wear, if we knew 100% that we don't have to wear a mask to protect ourselves, okay, but we don't know that. So it's not going to hurt to wear the mask. 6-2 in favor of this temporary bylaw that begins this Friday at 12:01. So Thursday night, 1 minute past 12, everything takes an effect. Now, some people thought this was interesting. Now, the mayor did mention, he said, let's do this so that people have time to get used to it. But then some people were commenting. We watched the broadcast earlier, and they were commenting, well, if you can wait, so we have a week to spread it? I don't think anybody's intentionally going out and spreading anything. Follow the social distancing rules, right? But you're going to have to wear a mask come Friday. Councillors Margaret Bird and Terry Burrow were the only two that voted against the bylaw. And there was some great reasoning from both as to why they didn't vote for it. This is one of those, it'll be an ongoing debate forever and ever and ever. Carl Freeman, who's my friend down in Oshawa, I believe, right? You're in Oshawa now. But he says masks are mandatory in the GTA. So there you go. And John Upton, who's in the United Kingdom, it's mandatory countrywide here to wear a mask in shops, public buildings, and on public transport. Now, somebody did ask me, how do you go to a restaurant? You still go to the restaurant. My understanding is that you wear the mask on when you enter. And then once you're seated, you're allowed to take your mask off once you're seated. If you have to get up to go to the washroom or when you leave or for any other reason to leave your table, you have to put the mask on. When you come back and sit down, you can take the mask off. So there's a lot of conversation going on locally about this, and I'd always come back to this. Just get the right information. I saw several comments in the Facebook group. Again, the Show with David Burrows group, there's a poll going on there. I would have you take a look at it and vote. But there's a lot of people making comments, and it's like, you need to go watch the city council meeting that happened this morning. It's an hour. All the information is there. They will be putting out the bylaw. So before you start asking all the questions, well, ask away your questions, but I mean, get all the information, I guess is what I'm saying. Not an easy thing to do. Brian White, Councillor White, said that he had a lot of business owners really asking him for this. One of the reasons being so that when people come in to their place of business, instead of them looking like the bad guy, they can just say, it's mandatory. It says it right here. So we'll see what this brings. Now, if you don't want to, maybe $1,000 fine will talk you into wearing the mask. That's for a first offense. It can go up to, I believe, $100,000. So wear the mask, don't wear the mask. $1,000, you got an extra $1,000? Maybe take that out of your CERB check. I don't know. Wearing the mask, I don't think is going to be a bad idea. Mayor Bradley did make a very good comment. This is not about citizen versus citizen. It is about Sarnia versus COVID. We're still fighting COVID-19. We need to be wary of the fact that we're still fighting COVID-19. And even though we're coming back to stage 3 and things have loosened up a bit, there are new rules in place. And that's what we're going to have to follow if we want to get out of this. Do you want to get out of this sooner than later? There you go. We're far from it. All right. Was that a rant? Would you call that a rant? I haven't done that in a while. I don't normally do that. We're going to be talking a little bit more about things. I haven't done this for years. And before I get to my first guest, I'll explain to you that the show has always been about positive things happening in our community. I always want to share positive stories. I don't really do news, so to speak. But I don't watch CNN, for example, right? You know what CNN stands for? Constantly negative news. That's what CNN stands for, and that's why I don't watch it. However, I've had a lot of people over the years, most recently since of COVID-19, saying, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this subject. I want to talk about that subject. And I've always been not afraid, but I've always just tried to stay away from it because I don't want to do negative. So I have made a decision that we will be talking about some different subjects, but we're going to keep it on the level. We're going to keep it clean because I don't do well with negative. I hope you don't do well with negative either. So see some changes coming in the show and other shows coming very, very soon where I'll have other hosts joining me as well, right? So if you have an idea for a topic you'd like to discuss, or maybe you'd like to be a co-host on one of my shows, reach out to me and let me know. I think there's a lot of people with a lot of great stories out there that need to be heard and told, and I'd like to hear from you. Let's go. John Upton says, it was better than a dad joke. What was better than a dad joke? My rant was better than the dad jokes. I do dad jokes normally with Stephen Healy. Every Monday at 12 noon, we have our Broadcasting to Your Community show. He's, of course, for those who don't know, he's in the United Kingdom. We took the day off today. I normally do dad jokes. I could do a dad joke for you right now. I'm going to do a dad joke for you right now, John, and then I got to get to my first guest. She's waiting patiently. I got to be careful here. What's the difference between a guitar and a fish? You can tune a guitar, but you can't tune a fish. Wow, that's really bad. Oh, that's horrible. I'm going to save that for next Monday. My first guest is already nodding her head. Yeah. Okay, we'll bring her on. Here's Vanessa joining us. Where are you, Vanessa?
Hi, how are you?
Thanks for being. I'm doing great. Vanessa, my apologies if I say your last name, Labadzinski?
Yep, that's it.
I got it. Right on.
Yeah, you did well, my friend.
Okay. Very good. I feel I just made my day.
Well, most people.
Vanessa is part of the Sarnia Ninja Club.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. All right. No, that's fine. I got a bit of a delay here. It'll catch up in a second. That's just the internet being silly today. Vanessa is part of the Sarnia Ninja Club. Ninja?
Yes.
That's we usually think of like movies, ninjas and stuff like that. But tell everybody what the Sarnia Ninja Club's all about, Vanessa.
Sure. So what we've done is we've created a website that you can find at the sarnianinjaclub.com. And the idea is basically supporting local community businesses, practicing social distancing, bringing joy to others, and raising money for charity. So originally I saw this out in Calgary and really saw it take off, but it was primarily being done through social media. And so I thought, hey, what a great idea. And let's sort of tie it in with charities. And let's make it a little bit safer and a bit more controlled, because at the time it was just being done through essentially through Facebook. So the idea behind it is you go on, you log in, you create an account. You got to sign off on about 15 terms and conditions. When I had my web guy build it, I was really particular. I said, you know how when you get those forms and it says click here and there's like 10,000 things? I said, no, let's make them all individual so that we're making sure that everyone is reading it, they're being safe, they're being cautious, and that they understand what's involved to participate. So once you get through that, then you talk about the type of, or you sign up for the type of ninja you want to be. So we have, originally it started off as wine ninjas, and then I expanded it to craft beer ninjas, thinking of supporting our local craft breweries. And then I extended it to kid ninjas. So you can support, like, for example, we have the Toy Corner. That's a great local children's store. You can purchase gift certificates, that kind of thing. And then took it one step further and created Foodie Ninjas. And the Foodie Ninjas was really to focus on our restaurant industry. Yep. So even though you don't want to be putting, perishable items in your basket or your bag, but at the same time, all of these local restaurants and businesses are offering gift certificates. So it's a great thing to pop into your basket. You pay $5. That's the minimum participation fee. Although I will say I'm really pleased to see that people are paying more. That some people do 15, 25. I've seen it go as high as 50. Nice. And that participation fee goes directly to the three charities, which is St. Joseph's Hospice, Noel's Gift, and Inn of the Good Shepherd. So those were my three choices of charities. And and it's a 3-month campaign. And at the end of the 3 months, the funds will be divided equally between the three charities. So,
wow, there's a lot going on there. And I like how you brought in the security factor to all of this as well, because I think that gets often overlooked a lot of times and things like this. But why you? Let's talk about you a little bit. Who is Vanessa, and what made you go, I want to do this for my community, which is fantastic, by the way.
Well, I'm definitely an entrepreneur at heart. There's no doubt. I was a court reporter in my younger days, and I did that for 25 years. And then I sold that business, and my husband and I purchased our first restaurant out in British Columbia, which is where I'm from. So I have always had a passion for being a chef and cooking and the way that it brings people together. Yep. So I kind of threw all my eggs in one basket, and we ended up coming back to Ontario for my husband for work. And I started getting involved in teaching. So at this point, my real passion over the years of having a restaurant, doing this, doing that, I sort of settled and found my niche in culinary instruction. So I built a pretty good fan base here in Sarnia when I arrived a couple of years ago and was teaching classes. And then unfortunately, COVID hit. I was teaching as far as out in the GTA, so Toronto with the Longos and really, really enjoyed it. And so this was something that, the fundraising part of it is, I saw it was something that was a really neat idea. And just the way that my mind works, I take a look at it, sort of disassemble it and say, okay, where are the problems with this, and how could we turn this into something to benefit these charities and support our business community? I certainly was impacted. I'm also an instructor with Lambton College in the culinary management program, and all of my cooking classes basically came to a halt. So all of the ones that I did personally, so I wasn't able to conduct those anymore.
Yeah, because that would be hard to do virtually, I suppose, right?
It is difficult.
It's kind of hands-on.
Yeah, you can use things like Zoom or this type of program, which I think is great. And you can teach them, but you don't get that sort of one-on-one. So I'm hoping now that we're moving into stage 3, I'm going to give it a little bit longer, because I think that people are still a bit shy to the idea of having someone come into their home. There's a lot of hesitation there.
Yeah, for sure.
So this was something sort of like being cooped up, just like everybody else in Sarnia, trying to find things to keep yourself entertained.
Yeah, well, it's forced us to be creative, right?
Exactly. And one of the things,
how do we adapt to all this?
Yeah, and one of the things that I know for sure is, for example, with these 3 charities, they typically have some fairly large fundraising events that happen every year. So, for example, Inn of the Good Shepherd would do empty bowls. St. Joseph's Hospice would do their gala, and then Noel's would do they have a gala as well, usually in January. Which, by the way, I was the first place winner a couple of years ago.
There you go, right on.
I'm gonna throw that plug in.
Absolutely.
That's how I got to know the Paquette family a little bit. So,
right.
But anyways, yeah. So I know that they really do depend on that. So things that like Inn of the Good Shepherd was doing bottle drives, they were so overwhelmed, and I really have to like send kudos out to our community because the way that the community has pulled through for many of the charities and supporting the businesses is absolutely unbelievable, considering all of the hardships they no doubt are facing in their own lives, and not just financially, like just the whole upheaval of your family life is different and going through all that. So this was really just another unique way of raising a little bit of additional funds to sort of hopefully contribute to some of the losses they may suffer during this pandemic. So.
Yeah, well, and I see you've got, I see even like Max Major from the radio station. He's involved there. Great guy to have supporting your cause too. He's very community oriented as well.
He is,
and you've got a lot of people like that are jumping on board with this, and it's really starting to spread more. And with the hopes of, like you said, of helping fill some gap that some of these charities are missing because of COVID-19.
That's right.
How many people have you had sign up, or do you have a rough idea?
So I think today we've probably got about 50. So the numbers are still relatively low. We'd like to definitely see.
I'll sign up.
We want to see a boost in that for sure. One of the things that is kind of interesting about when you join, so every time you join, you're also entered into a draw. So we have about 10 different prizes. They're $100 gift certificates, $50 gift certificates, baskets, all kinds of stuff. What I want the community to know is that those items were not, we didn't go out to the businesses and say, hey, we're looking for a sponsorship. We took a unique approach and said, the only thing that we want from you is to upload your logo and share and like us on Facebook or through social media. So we purchased those items ourselves for the prizes, because what we didn't want to do was take from the business and ask them to donate. I mean, they're already doing so much as it is. So this was really just an opportunity to advertise for them. And when you sign up, you receive an email, usually within 24 to 48 hours, depends on how many registrations we get. We pair you up. We only pair women with women, men with men, and children with children.
Oh, okay.
So, and then what we do is there's a few sort of non-identifying questions that we ask you that are fun questions. And then we relay that information to the person that has signed up. So, and then we also ask you, what's a business in your community that you would like to support? Okay. So I'll give you a really good example. So one gal that signed up, she says, I want to support Alton Winery, which of course they're out in Wyoming. Well, somebody drove all the way out there to buy a bottle of wine for her basket just to support. Nice. You know what I mean? And then they're going to Imperial City or, perhaps Refined Fool to purchase the craft beer. So they're taking that information, and then we just plug in the website for that business. So it's just kind of an extra reminder, like, hey, think twice before you go big box or online, and just try and keep it within your own community. Because, I mean, quite frankly, these businesses, they are not prospering, they're surviving, and it's going to take them a long time to recover from this. So a $10 gift certificate here and there, all of that adds up at the end of the day, right? Yeah.
Well, especially now with you heard me talking sort of a rant on the mandatory mask bylaw. Now people are expressing on social media like, oh, well, so much for going shopping. I'm gonna go to Amazon or whatever now, and this would encourage them to not. You gotta have your Amazon. I get it, but there's still that local side of things that we want to keep supporting, because I like how you say they're not prospering, they're surviving.
That's right.
So we got to help everybody. It's that whole come together, grow, to stay together, and stay strong together.
And then, of course, there's the fun part of it, which is the best part of it. I mean, the whole spirit of the campaign is obviously kindness. But I've seen quite a few baskets where people will pop in. They'll purchase a little thing of hand sanitizer and masks to go in their basket.
Right.
People
I want the craft beer. I'll be honest. I want the craft beer.
Yeah, exactly.
To be honest there.
Everybody wants the craft beer. But yeah, so people are having a lot of fun with it. And especially the kids, it's really sweet because, you know, they've got these old Halloween costumes. They've been cooped up for a couple of months. It gives them something to do with their parents. Or
kids are creative too, right? That's
family member. I did see one kid ninja basket that someone packed it in a recycle bin. So for that girl, all her stuff. So now she's got a recycle bin for her bedroom, plus all the great stuff she got in there, right?
Kind of like Christmas in July.
Exactly. Yeah. So
all right.
For sure. So there's some, I mean, you can have as much fun. I mean, we see people rolling on lawns and, you know, and then running. And I've been ninja'd a couple times and I've never seen the person. And I've ninja'd a few people and your heart's just racing, like you're so excited. And then, you know, and
trying
then
to figure it out.
Yeah, trying to make sure that you don't get spotted. So
just so you know, when I sign up, everybody, craft beer. Okay?
Craft beer. That's great. Well, you can pick. You can say I'm a craft ninja.
Oh, I can say it. Okay, very good. All right. I'm going to sign up when we're done here today. I'll get signed up and we'll start doing that. It'll be a lot of fun. And I think this is congratulations to you for coming up with, or at least expanding on the idea that you found. Right. Just before I let you go, is there somebody else helping you with all of this? Or are you doing this all on your own, or?
So I had sort of teamed up with a website developer, Ryan Giddings from High Five Design. He did an amazing job building the website. There was a lot of back and forth and, you know, to try and just get it just right. So he definitely had a good play in that. At this point in time, I do have some volunteers that, you know, assist me with emails or sort of spreading the word at this point. I know that in Calgary, when they did it, they had over 10,000 people on Facebook do it. Edmonton had 47,000. So I think we really need to have a challenge and we need to at least beat Calgary.
We need 50,000.
Yeah, we need that.
50.
Well, if you think about that, even at the minimum donation, right, that's a lot of funds raised. That's a lot of joy spread. That's a lot of business for our local community. So I really, really hope to see that it takes off. And for those that have participated, that they just have a great time doing it. So.
For sure. Well, thanks again, Vanessa, for sharing all the information here today and putting this together. And keep me updated and posted on how many people are signing up, and we'll keep sharing it at our end as well. Okay.
I will. It was my pleasure, and it was lovely to meet you.
Thanks. Take care. That's Vanessa talking about the Sarnia Ninja Club. The challenge is on. We need 50,000 people. Go sign up right now. I'll wait. Okay, 50,000 people are going to go sign up. The Sarnia Ninja Club. What a fantastic idea, and just another example of how we're being creative, right? You know, I've seen a lot of different nonprofit organizations get creative because they're suffering, surviving, not prospering, as our friend Vanessa pointed out. I love that saying. I'm going to keep that one. And this is a great way to help fill those gaps in there. So another creative way. COVID-19 really, I think, has forced a lot of us to be creative. What am I going to do now? You can choose to sit around or you can come up with these fun ideas. And once again, the SarniaNinjaClub.com is where you need to go to get signed up and send me some craft beer. That's all I'm going to say about the craft beer. Did I mention I like craft beer? All right. We're going to go into our next guest now. Speaking of nonprofit organizations and being creative, our friend Anita Manili from Sarnia Lambton Rebound. Hello, Anita.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
I'm excited to get my craft beer.
That sounds like such a cool idea. I love it.
Yes, it's well, like I said, another unique way of making things happen and adapting in this interesting time. This, what's that word we've heard a lot of? Unprecedented time, and places like Sarnia Lambton Rebound having to adapt. And then tell everybody what we're here to talk about today.
Well, today is, Rebound, we're always looking for different donations and trying to be creative. So this was through Canada Helps, and they've come out with a program this summer that they're asking seniors to donate to your favorite charity. And we're hoping that people will choose Rebound because we've been around for over 35 years in the community and helped over 40,000 youth. Right now we have about 21 different programs going on virtually. But it's still important to have around, and we've got so many great community partners. But ultimately it comes down to we could use some extra money, and we're really hoping that the seniors. So because of the COVID, the government is giving all seniors an extra $300 a month. So
Okay.
we're just hoping that, because they've maybe had to cancel a trip, or they're just not going out to the theater and doing all those little extras, that maybe they would consider donating to Rebound.
Right. So how did this all get started? Where did this campaign get kicked off from? Like, who came up with the idea?
To be honest, it was all through Canada Helps.
Canada Helps, yeah, okay.
Yes, and they've kind of put that challenge out, and then they've been trying to get the word out to all the not-for-profits, because people can go through Canada Helps to make a donation to Rebound. You can donate directly to us, but if you're on the Canada Helps website, you can donate through them, and they do take a small percentage. It's 1.8%, but no, this is totally Canada Helps idea, and we just jumped on their bandwagon. Yeah.
Well, what a great, again, here we are adapting, and this virtual world is becoming more of our reality. So obviously we're talking about money here. The Rebound, like many organizations, needs money to survive. Let's talk about some of the programs, and how many programs are there, and like how much money do you need to keep things going?
Well, we do receive some government funding, and we do receive money from the United Way. And the United Way has actually been generous this year. Typically, we're going into a blackout period the 1st of September, but their board has waived that again because of times. So typically, we would be unable to fundraise between September 1st and December 1st, but they've waived that. So hopefully now we can, get our hats on and then start thinking about some maybe fall fundraising ideas in this virtual world. But every year, Rebound needs to fundraise anywhere between $350,000 to $400,000.
Wow!
In order to run the programs that we offer, and we have run 21 different programs. There's 3 that stand out that don't receive any funding, and that would be Rebound Rocks, which you may have heard of them, the rock band that. They're a great band, and last year, unfortunately this year we haven't been able to do anything, but last year they performed just about 20 different performances around Sarnia Lambton.
They were everywhere.
They're amazing. So, they're trying to cope in all of this, and doing in the virtual world and in the Zoom world. And we have the R Lounge, which is for 12 to 15-year-olds. And that's typically held Monday to Friday, and it's from 3 until 6. And it's a drop-in. So it's a spot where they can stop in and hang out with some of their friends. There's usually some community partners that come in and maybe do a craft or some type of activity with them, and they get some type of meal. And then there's the Spectrum program for the LGBTQ2S. So those 3 are kind of the top where they don't receive any funding. We've still been maintaining our contact with the youth over the last 4 months. It has been virtually, and we're really hoping that things will get back to normal, or some sort of normalcy in September.
A new normal.
Yeah, exactly. So, but and what does that look like? So. But we still need to fundraise. We can't just put our hands in the air and give up. So we've got to keep our nose to the grindstone and keep asking.
How are the youth, like? Let's go back to March. March, right? St. Paddy's Day, I guess.
Yeah.
When everything was shut down, and obviously it's affected a lot of people, but there's a lot of youth that really rely on Sarnia Lambton Rebound just to have some kind of a connection to somebody. How are the youth reacting to this virtual world?
You know what? They're probably reacting better than most. For somebody like myself, because they grew up in this. They're online.
Yeah.
So, but they do miss that face to face and being able to go to school and see their friends or have those social connections from that aspect. So there's definitely an increase in mental health. So for the program coordinators to be able to make that online connection, whether it's through Zoom or Instagram or Facebook or some type of platform, we've just had a new program. So we're doing Dungeons and Dragons, which I'm not familiar with a lot of Dungeons and Dragons,
Oh.
but that started up a week or two ago, and it's gone really well. And that's through our Expressive Arts program. So it's, it goes back to they're trying to be creative and come up with different ways to engage the youth and keep them from slipping into those, depressing moments.
Sure. Now, are the youth bringing you some of these ideas as well? Like that Dungeons and Dragons, that sounds like that would come from a youth.
You know what? That's a great idea. It was one of our program coordinators that was talking about it at our staff meeting. So they do love to get the youth involved in for their creativity. So probably.
Yeah. Well, you can never have enough ideas when it comes to fundraising. There's always, and even before this virtual world or this COVID world, whatever this world is we're in right now, it's always been challenging to find new ideas, right? Because you don't want to keep doing. One thing I noticed, what's the charity over here does something and it works, and then this charity over here, it does the same thing, and then another couple charities. Next thing you know, you got the same thing going on. You need to come up with new stuff. Has it been more challenging because of virtual, or is it just a different type of challenge?
It is become more challenging because we are fundraising, especially when we're creating events. It's a very social world. So having to put all of our events on hold for now and try and go back to the drawing board and try and think up different ways of, how do we engage our community without duplicating what somebody else has already done. And I love the creativity that the community, it's just impressive that, they're not letting this COVID slow them down, and they're just kind of rejigging things and coming out with a different way to fundraise. And I love people like Vanessa that are fundraising for these not-for-profits, because it's so important. Because when it's fundraisers, you're in it every day. But I love the enthusiasm and again just the creativity of giving back to the people, particularly these restaurants and businesses that have been donating to us, to everybody over the years.
Yeah. Can you please give me a gift certificate for my golf tournament? Can you please? And the table sort of turned now a little bit. How is the staff, including yourself, how have you adapted to all of this? Was this a new? It's obviously a new experience, but were you a techie gal before, or are you becoming one?
I'm becoming one, and it's been a challenge working from home, because so many of us, we thrive on that face-to-face and being able to, walk into somebody's office, right? Chat and I've got an idea to run by you. So adjusting to this virtual world and having our online meetings on Zoom. But we are back at the office, so we're just doing a rotating.
Okay.
We're back doing kind of split days and alternating weeks, which is, again, different, but it's just all of that unknown and uncertainty.
Yeah. Well, Sarnia Lamps and Rebound is definitely an important part of our community here. So it's nice to see that getting through this, but we need that support for Sarnia Lamps and Rebound. And the Seniors Giving Back campaign is how that can be helped. And I guess anybody really can go and donate, right?
Absolutely. It's just they're suggesting the seniors because they're getting the extra $300 this month. So
gotcha.
So hopefully they'll think of us and make a donation. There's also the hub that's around. That's another one of our programs that is for youth 16 to 24. And we've seen an increase in that. And that's for youth that are maybe sofa surfing and just don't have a place to hang their hat. And so we're always accepting donations too for that, whether it's food or cash is king, to be honest.
Cash is king. I hear you. Again, we'll take whatever you give us, but really money would be good. Yeah, I understand. Well, and that's, that's an interesting topic, cash and that money thing. It's the ask now is a different kind of ask than it was before all of this. And I think in the beginning phases, people were like, well, I don't want to ask because they're going through. It's okay to ask. It's just a different kind of ask. And especially in this community, right? I think you would probably agree with me that Sarnia Lambton is a very caring, pull together kind of community, and they recognize the importance of things like Sarnia Lambton Rebound. So are people still walking in the door? Are they still coming to you and saying, what can I do to help?
Absolutely. Like there's things like the 2 police officers that are collecting pre-loved bicycles and donating bicycles to our youth. Or the Bad Dog downtown. They're very generous, and they're collecting $5,000 and donating $250 to various charities. So there's I guess you can't say it enough. This community is just time and time again just so generous, and in a time when it's so uncertain, it's amazing to see. So we're just so grateful.
Well, and Sarnia Lambton Rebound is lucky to have great staff like yourself as well, keeping things going down there. Anita, I know I get your emails all the time, and I appreciate you sending those to me. Don't ever stop doing that. And is there anything else you want to add before I let you get back to enjoying the rest of your day?
Yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks for the opportunity, Dave. It's always good to see you, and thanks for thinking of us.
You're welcome. Anytime. Don't wait for me to ask you. You just say, hey, I want to be back on the show. We'll get you on.
Okay, awesome.
All right. Take care, Anita.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
Anita Maneely from Sarnia Lambton Rebound, needing your support, like many, but just another one to consider. The youth in our community is a really important factor in our community. I've always been supportive of the youth and Sarnia Lambton Rebound because I've been over there. I've gotten to know the people involved at Sarnia Lambton Rebound. It's not just a job to them there. I don't think there's anybody I know there that this is just a job. They are really into what they do. They're passionate about it. They're passionate about the youth in this community. So kudos again to Sarnia Lambton Rebound. And you folks, you can help them out. You don't have to be a senior. I'm not a senior yet, but I'm really close. But you don't have to be a senior to give to Sarnia Lambton Rebound. You can just go to Seniors Giving Back. But if you know some seniors that maybe aren't online watching this, you could share seniorsgivingback.org. So thanks again to my guest, Anita Maneely, for joining me here today. And thanks to all of you for joining me here today. I really do appreciate you being here. And just before I go, just a couple of quick mentions. Where's my share screen? I'll try to do this again. My friends down at Oswald's Diner, they're still open. Skip the Dishes. They have a drive-through there down. They're located on Plank Road, and they are motorcycle enthusiasts themselves. And they want to remind everybody to watch out for motorcycles. Drive aware, ride aware. I'm a rider too, so my whole family is becoming riders. But think of Oswald's Diner as well when you're looking for something to eat. Home-cooked, family-owned restaurant, Oswald's Diner on Plank Road. We thank them for all of their support here as well. And all of our sponsors who come on board, not just to support the show, but want to do things with the Sarnia Sting and community events, etc. These are a list of our major sponsors, and I'm very grateful to all of them for their support. And one more time, I'm grateful for all of you who spend your time here with me every Monday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. I hope you'll come back again soon. That's all the time I got for you this week. Have a great week and an even better weekend. I will see you next time right here in the show. Bye for now.